Hey everybody, it's part 2 of the Payments Professor Top 10 Predictions for Electronic Payments in 2021. Now, if you missed part 1, you can go to the Payments Professor YouTube channel and you'll be able to find part 1 there. Wait, why don't we do a quick recap of part 1 just for in case you did miss it, but more details are available in the video online. Number 1 was losses at light speed and disputes in doubt. Number 2, payments are going to get political. Number 3, new recommendations and regulations equal to recommendulations for faster payments. Number 4, the Internet of all things gets a voice in payments. And number 5, mobile self-checkout becomes mainstream. Let's continue this discussion with stay tuned for number 6. Number 6, alternative payments become mainstream just like we see the mobile checkout become mainstream. That's right, alternative payments will become just as mainstream as cash and cards. And I believe this because of what we've seen happen during the lockdown and the pandemic. See, for many reasons it's going to happen. People are adopting more and more ways of making payments. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go completely cashless. Let's save that for an upcoming prediction. Just wait. Now though, I do believe, and I will say, that as long as there is shame, there's always going to be cash. See, as long as there's a need for the anonymous payment that we would never want anybody to know that, hey, I paid for this, there will be cash. But for everything else, and in some cases with crafty uses of the options available, even those shame payments, there's going to become alternatives. Other options that are going to be becoming available, especially with the rise in the fintechs and what we see happening with there's an app for that. Now, cash may never truly go away altogether, but in 2021, we will see alternative payments continue to take over, whether it's e-wallets or direct bank transfers or alternate forms of payment. They're going to continue to see aggressive growth. And it's been spurred by the pandemic and by the numerous use cases for non-traditional payment methods, as well as the continued expansion of open payment networks. And if you don't think so, then look no further than over in, well, it's Asia really, and Alipay's dominance in the Asian payments market, where even direct bank transfers are the norm and even mainstream. And believe it or not, they have even dethroned credit and debit transactions as being the most popular form of payment. But I hear all the time, it's different here in the US. Not anymore. As we will see alternative payments become more mainstream. But we can't stop now. Let's go on to number 7, where payments take it to the limit. Yeah, I call this one the Eagles' greatest hits of payments. Payment limits are going to be going and taking it to the limit. There will be a limit increase on single payments that are currently in place. Hey, this really ain't much of a prediction as we're already seeing requests from the industry for this. That's right. Because we're going to see an increase in the single transaction limit for ACH, followed by an increase for RTP, and then followed by a yet to be released FedNow instant payments. Yeah, they're going to come out with an announcement on a new higher limit capability before they ever even come out with the product. I really believe this. See, as the industry becomes more comfortable with faster payments with RTP and same-day ACH, we will see that there will be a demand for limit increases to allow for more widespread use cases. Like I said, Notch has already put out a request for comment to the industry with a plan to increase the limit every year for the next 3 years until it gets to, well, it's not truly unlimited, but the maximum amount of a single ACH entry. That's a lot, right? Well, I expect to see RTP follow very closely behind to keep the RTP network competitive with same-day ACH. And then I expect to see the Fed announce that they'll have a higher limit at release. Again, they haven't even released the product yet, but before they release it to the industry, we'll see that the industry is more comfortable with the higher limit and the Fed will release with the higher limit, but they'll still be a little bit lower than the other ones until they get comfortable with processing. But payment limits, they're not the only competition we'll see because number 8, competition between closed and open loop systems ends with the hybrid networks. Wait, is it an open network? Is it a closed network? Can I use it, or can everybody use it, or can only certain people use it? That's always been the confusion with, is it an open or closed network or system? Well, in 2021, expect to see an increased competition between established providers of closed and open payments platforms. And who will win? The hybrid network. The hybrid network, that's right. See, the networks that are able to adapt and adopt and work more as a payments hub, offering the benefits of both closed and open networks, are being able to plug into multiple networks, allowing users a one-stop shop for all their payment options. No more awkward figuring out, do I use this network or do I use this network to send your money? See, the hybrid network works with on-us transactions capability and the ability to interface with multiple networks, and that's the one that's going to win. And it won't be a singular hybrid network. No, it won't be one to rule them all. I don't believe that. I believe there will be choice, and I believe there will be competition. There will be several of them that come from the fintech sector working together to take on the payments giants, and in this case, win. The rise in hybrid networks is a guarantee in my opinion, but another fun area, well, that's number 9, and that's the rise and the race in digital currencies. Definitely expect more countries to follow the lead of China in launching a state-controlled digital currency. We have seen the US toy with the idea of digital currency. As we see more countries actually adopt digital currencies, there will be a race to be the most dominant digital currency to secure greater economic power globally. I really believe this. Will we see a CBDC, that's a central bank digital currency, here in the US? I think so. See, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, he had this comment. This is his quote. It wouldn't replace physical cash, but instead would be an additional option out there for consumers to use and would complement the existing payments system. Well, what's that all mean? See, I see as the government and the Fed, they're not one and the same, but as they are looking into different options, well, they're going to look at what's happening around the world. They're also going to look at things like in the private sector. See, earlier in 2020, actually, JP Morgan Chase said its digital currency, the JPM coin, was used commercially by a very large technological client to send payments around the world. That's huge. That's not just domestically, we're talking globally. As I see it, here in the US, it's a lot like faster payments. We were kind of slow to get to the faster payments table and playground, let me just tell you. We saw the private sector get a big head start, especially with RTP. And now everybody else is playing catch up. Not just with the private sector, but with the globe, with the world. And digital currencies, no exception. They're following the same track or predictions. We will be behind everyone else, and we won't see digital currency in 2021, just letting you know. But we will see a rise in the interest from the industry and announcements near the end of the year on what's going to happen. And that won't be the only announcement that we're going to see, because when we get to number 10, this is my big one. Here we go, number 10. What's going to happen as far as announcements? Well, number 10, FedNow will be sooner than later. That's right, FedNow will come out sooner than later, but not in 2021. An announcement will come. We'll see a continued surge of industry support for FedNow. And the Fed is working on attracting members to their pilot program. And for the first time in any product launch that I've seen from the Fed, actually stated they are working to shorten the time for the release of a product. Normally they don't say, hey, we're going to work on getting this out earlier, but they've already been saying we're really putting all hands on deck for this. Great, I love it, keep going, Fed. But will we see FedNow in 2021? Absolutely not. But will we see major progress? Yes. Changes to the release of information surrounding the feature and functionality? Yes. Continued industry support? And don't be surprised when towards the end of the year, the Fed comes out and announces that they are ahead of schedule and are now planning to see an earlier release of FedNow. Oh, spoiler alert for next year's predictions. It will still be 2023. It'll just be a date earlier than later in 2023. Now that's the top 10, but how about a bonus prediction? How about one prediction to rule them all? This one is a post-COVID-19 less cash society. Not cashless yet. COVID, coin shortages, cashless adoption, it's going to lead us to a less cash America. I really do believe this. It's already happening. See, according to the latest annual Fed report, this is before the pandemic, okay? The use of cash was already dropping. Kind of slowly though before the pandemic. But now things have changed. Now add in concerns that physical cash could be a way of transmitting the virus. Plus the national coin shortage, encouraging consumers to find alternative payment methods, and those same consumers becoming more adept at using alternative payment options. And you have the perfect formula for a continued drop in the usage of cash. I think we'll see an accelerated drop in the usage of cash. While we are far from being cashless, we will definitely be seeing many becoming more less cash, as it's unlikely for people to switch back once the pandemic has passed, and it will pass, as consumers will stick with faster, contactless, cashless alternatives. That's it. That's the professor's top 10 predictions. Number 1 was losses at light speed. Disputes will be in doubt. Number 2, payments are going to get political. Number 3, recommendations and regulations end up being recommendulations for faster payments. Number 4, the internet of all things will get a voice in payments. Number 5, mobile self-checkout becomes mainstream. Number 6, alternative payments become mainstream as well, okay? Number 7, payments take it to the limit. That's right, we're going to see a rise in the limits of individual transactions for certain payment channels. Number 8, competition between closed and open loop system ends in the hybrid network. Number 9, the rise and race in digital currencies. And number 10, FedNow will be sooner than later, but still not in 2021. And the number one prediction to rule them all, the really only one you needed to go with is, in a post-COVID-19 world, we will become a less cash society, but just not cashless yet. Now, do you agree or do you disagree? Did I miss something? Or maybe you agree with some, but not all? Maybe you just want to voice your opinion. Well, then please feel free to leave a comment, or you can even email me, kevin@paymentsprofessor.com. Oh, wow. There really was a lot in that top 10. I wonder how much of it's going to come true. I'm going to leave this video on YouTube for a long time, so we'll be able to come back and see, was I right? Was I wrong? What's happened? Until then, class dismissed.